brothers and sisters, as we sit here, we gather this day to always rejoice and be glad in the Most High for who He is and all the things that He does for us. Amen. Um, that we do not deserve. You know, we're in a time where many people, beloved brothers and sisters, in these modern day assemblies, not all of them, but the majority of them that are here to please people and are just for show, don't be that. There's many modern day assemblies that teach you to pay attention to yourself and not to examine yourselves and your ways. The gospel tells us in 1 Corinthians 11 and 28 for us to examine ourselves before you even take this uh, the bread and the wine of the Father in communion. Lamentations 3:40-41 says, let's examine our ways and probe our ways and turn back to the Holy One. 2 Corinthians 13:5, 2 Peter 1, 2. Many people in this modern days churches, and it's something. When God puts me in a place, or the Yahweh puts me in a place, or even on here, it's to encourage you that are called, you that are chosen, to separate yourselves. You know, we're in a time where many people have modernized and taken themselves and taken their liking to these pagan traditions without understanding the errors of their way. Amen. And their faith is on their lips and not in their walk. Because even in this time where Christ, the Messiah, was crucified, and not today, but Passover was already, they celebrate this. We celebrate the Passover, the covering of the blood of the Lamb over us to keep us not only washed, but pure and sanctified, walking in this manner that many people don't, you guys don't believe. Y'all rather believe somebody tells you that's not possible, that you decide not to keep that, um, then we uh, we don't believe that it's possible. You'd rather sit in a congregation where we're all just never progressing and never growing, newly, never truly understanding what the gospel was for, what Christ came to do to reconcile yourself, to set you free from the bondages and the shackles and the chains, the doubts, the fears, the influences of the wicked one and the evil one, to give you eyes to see, to give you a firm foundation, to give you strength, to give you courage, so you don't have to defy yourself. Don't you know that many people, without understanding the penalties and what they're going to be facing for trampling and counting that sacred blood, if you had true faith and you're believing in what Christ has done for you, then you're going to be changed. You do not remain the same. Christ didn't come to leave you remaining the same, stuck in your own self, your own desires. He knows what's going to cause you. You know what's going to cause you to stumble. You know what's unclean and impure. You know that God calls us, Yahweh calls us unto holiness, unto sanctification. He doesn't call you to be stuck in the same ways. He doesn't cause, he doesn't keep you influencing each other to do things that he is against. He himself came in the form of man and did all these things to show us what's going to be acceptable to him, what pleases him, and what's going to be entering his kingdom. The master didn't come to show you how to be consumed and defeated. He came to show you how to defeat these things, even the strongholds of your own mind, of your own will, to trade it for his will, where his burden is easy. Amen. And light. Many people don't want that because we're not consumed or busybodies or gossiping or slandering or have to be in all of these things and be noticed by man. We're not trying to get noticed by man. We're trying to get noticed and by the Father, by the Creator. Husbands are bowed down backwards to their kids, to their daughters, to their wives, to their work, consumed by that. And then one day, out of the whole time that you say you believe in the Father, you want to present yourself in the church building with these pagan festivities, knowing that it has nothing to do with Christ and his resurrection. Knowing if you truly read the gospel, all of you philosophers and people that are supposed to be in this gospel for so many centuries and years and all of these things, that the gospel doesn't tell you to celebrate this. The only thing he says in the scriptures to remember him by is by his communion. He says, this is the only thing that I ask of you to remember me by. Nothing else. So while many people have become perfect pretenders in this church, you go present your bodies to the assembly, to people, but you don't present yourself and your heart to Yahweh, to your Creator. And many people don't like to hear the truth, but the truth is what's going to set you free when you accept it and acknowledge, admit your guilt, admit your falsehood. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's bringing knowledge to you and yourself of the things, the uncleanness that's within you when you accept the truth. Because you can be like those that the gospel says, pull their shoulder back and stop their ears and harden their heart to receive the words that can save your soul and your life, your spirit. Amen? And you continue. I just got a question for all of you. What are you going to be able to tell the Father because you influenced these kids, these young ones, or other people to do things that he was against? Oh, I just did it because everybody else was doing it? Or I just did it because I didn't want to believe the truth? That you have nothing to do with idols? And that you're jealous, Yahweh, you're a jealous creator? And that you would give your glory to no one else, many people do. They give it to creeping things and images of man and all these things. When he's an invisible entity, he's an invisible supreme Alua. He's an invisible creator. His attributes are seen. Y'all give his glory to these creeping things. Y'all celebrating Ishtar, this pagan goddess of fertility. Y'all think it's nothing. Y'all just glorify. Y'all just so proud. Many people are just so proud. Y'all, we make this big old lavish meal. Glutinous. You just became glutinous. Gluttony. Y'all going, oh, I'm so full. God warns us. Yahweh warns us about doing that. Y'all don't know how to keep it simple, and you're getting consumed and you're perishing, and afterwards you're going to give judgment, spirits. Examine your ways. I encourage you, examine your ways these days and separate yourself. The Father is with you. Touch no unclean thing. Quit polluting yourself with it. Amen. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful holy one. Amen. Holy day. Remember, it's not impossible for you to be walking in sanctification and become that new creature. Stop being a perfect pretender. The gospel says you guys wash your flesh and doll that all up, but your iniquity and your darkness and your blemishes are still before his eyes. Amen.